time you think about getting hurt, it's the time to get out.
Yeah.
If you ever think, man, I hope I don't get hurt today, it's time to quit.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to FastFaith, where speed meets the spirit. I'm your host, Michael Weiser, and today I've got a true short track legend joining us. When you talk about Bowman Gray, you talk about short tracks throughout the whole Southeast. When you mention the name Myers, there is a lot of history that goes with that name. And today I am honored to be joined by Mr. Burt Myers.
How you doing?
So, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate you coming on, and I'm excited to speak with you about your faith, about family, and about racing.
Yeah.
So a lot of folks that may be watching this know you as a racer. They see you at the track. They see you in the pits after the races, things like that. But what is one word that you would use to describe who Burt Myers is?
Man. I mean, that's hard to do. I've never thought about it that way. Well, obviously, when you think about the racing and your faith and everything else, I guess in my world, it all revolves around family. We race with our family. We have, we go to church as a family. We run our lives or have our lives, everyday lives as a family. So, I don't know. I'll just say family.
Family, that's good.
All right.
I like it. What is it that keeps you grounded in the racing world?
Well, obviously, when I was younger, things would happen on the racetrack, and you call it luck. And you say, "Man, we had bad luck." And then as I got older, and then obviously your walk with the Lord changes your mindset. And now I don't believe in luck. I say circumstance. I can't, in good faith, tell someone that something was unlucky or you had bad luck, and at the same time try to make them believe that God's in control and knows what's going to happen all the time.
Yeah.
It contradicts itself. So I've looked at it. I started looking at it as if something does happen on the racetrack that puts us out of the race, there was a reason for it. Whether it was a lesson I needed to learn, or maybe I had a flat tire and had to pull in the pits because there was going to be a big wreck I was going to be involved in. So you always have to kind of base it around the fact that God knows what he's doing, and it's just up to us to trust him, whether we like it or whether we want to accept it sometimes. But we have to have that faith that's what's going on in our lives.
Yeah, there's times where we don't understand or know or even comprehend what he's doing.
Right.
But yeah, he does. So for those that may not know, how did racing become part of you? We know it's the family, dad, granddad, things like that.
Yeah.
But we also see racers sometimes take a different path. At what point in your life did you know that you wanted to follow in dad and granddad?
Oh gosh, I mean, the first time I can remember sitting in the stands at Bowman Gray, I'd say my first memories were, 5 years old, I guess, in that area. Who knows? I think
it's hard to think about that.
When you get my age, you see pictures, and I think you try to, oh yeah, I remember that, or do I remember that, or I didn't remember seeing a picture. But from day one, the first time I guess that I went to Victory Lane with my dad in Victory Lane, and I never said, I've said this a million times, I've never said if I race, I always said when I race, because I knew it was coming. And obviously for my brother, following in the same footsteps, and now with Slate and our whole family. I mean, this is just, we say this, it sounds cliche, it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. It's just, This is what we do, and our lives revolve around it. Weddings, birthday parties, anniversaries, everything, vacations, everything revolves around our racing schedule. So that's something. But I will say this: I remember my mom making the comment during the TV show Madhouse. She said, "Racing's what's kept our family together," because she always knew when her sons and her husband wasn't at home, she knew where we were, and that was either at the race shop or at the racetrack. So.
That's good. That's good. Speaking of the Madhouse, the TV show, this is not in my notes. So this is a little bonus for y'all watching. Can you speak on that? Where, like, how were you chosen? How were do you remember the process of all that?
I remember.
And looking back, do you regret any of it?
No, I don't regret any of it. There's things that other drivers have complained about that they made them look bad on TV. And I look at it as a different approach. I can't be mad at somebody for turning the camera on and catching me doing something I shouldn't have been doing or felt bad about.
Right.
When I jumped on the windshield of the 40 car, I can't be mad at them for putting that on TV because I did it. So I don't regret anything. My wife said in the beginning of the show, she said, don't forget, you're going to still be racing one day and this show's going to be gone. And I remember that. That stuck with me from day one. And I remember telling the producers when they were in this shop, I said, you can record if you want to, no disrespect. But I'm not going to do or say something that I wouldn't normally do or say just for a TV show. Yeah. And I felt like I held pretty true to that. I'm not sure we had a great time doing the show. We obviously, we were all hoping a second season would come back. I think politics maybe got involved. I've heard rumors, but I don't know for sure. So I probably shouldn't say, but it was awesome. It was awesome. And I've been recognized in the airport in Las Vegas. I've been recognized on a cruise ship in the Bahamas. And my voice usually is the first thing. They hear me talk and they spin around. My wife says I can't.
Know that voice from somewhere?
Yeah, my wife says my voice gives me away every time. But I've also said, though, it's pretty cool that we got that opportunity. But there's thousands of people just like me across the country that are doing the same things I'm doing. We were just fortunate enough that it was on TV. But where it got started, I guess, was around the end of 2009. Was it 2008? It might have been 2008. Even 2008, 2009-ish. Guy shows up, says he's from California, says he wants to do a Madhouse or a Bowman Gray reality show. We didn't think much of it. And at the end of that year, gosh, was it? I guess it was. They filmed in 2009 and it aired in 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I was living in Alabama at the time.
Okay, so at the end of 2008, is when me and Junior Miller got into it that last race, and he pushed me to the point where I backed up and rammed into him a few times. And I don't know if that's kind of what sparked it for them to say, "Man, we need to put this on TV." But they filmed it in 2009 and it aired in 2010. And from what I understand, the first 3 episodes, they realized it was the highest rated TV show that history had at that time slot.
Wow.
So that's why I think maybe politics got involved, but don't regret it. And I'd do it again. And I do wish it would come back. That'd be awesome.
It would be fun.
It'd be awesome.
Because a lot of times you obviously in some reality shows, they do kind of give it some sort of scripting and try to expose different things to make it more than what it really might be. But with racing, you've already got that anyway.
Yeah, right.
So you don't really have to kind of script a lot of it to egg it on because you already have rivalries. You already have the craziness of the day and of the night and of the racing. A lot of money goes into putting these machines together. A lot of time, effort, blood, sweat, tears goes into this. And you're going to get mad. Yeah. So it's not anything they have to script. Yeah. So it would be kind of neat to see it come back.
One of the questions that I was asked a lot is, when's the Madhouse coming back? I said, it didn't go anywhere. It's just not on TV anymore. Yeah. it's you come sit in the stands. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So it's about, I would tell people it's about 85% dead on the money. I mean, obviously because of TV, there might have been some sound effects, screeching tires and revving motors that were added in here and there. And for the most part, I think there were a few characters that maybe tried to play the role just a little bit, but for the most part, it was, I know from our end, it was dead on the money for what you see. And with us, they didn't have to say much. With me and my brother racing together and the different characters that were involved with me and Jason and our crew, they just turned the cameras on and sat back and drank coffee.
They had it easy.
Yeah.
So getting back to family, you grew up in the middle of all this. It's been a part of your life, basically, like you said, since day one. What's that journey been like from the early days to, you had the early days of watching Dad. You had the early days of being able to strap into a car and drive yourself. Mm-hmm. What's that journey been like on your faith side? When did faith kind of come into your life of being something that's really real to you? And how have you kind of translated that into how you try to carry yourself at the track?
Well, obviously, the older you get and the more mature you get, and you go through life experiences. I think that's the biggest thing. When I was younger, obviously I got saved at 15, I think. So I mean, I was, I guess I thought I knew what faith was and Christianity was and following the Lord was. But like I said, the older you get, it kind of changes your perception. I don't know. I've always had faith, and I've always, said that I trusted the Lord. But like I said, the older you get, especially when you have family and you get kids, and they say you don't know true love until you actually have a kid,
Right.
and I believe that. So I don't know, man. That's a tricky question because I guess it just kind of evolved over time. But the way my career has gone has been a dream come true. I'm probably the only driver in the South, and probably maybe in the North. There's only a few in the North that race for a living. But I'm one of the few short track guys in this area that gets to race for a living. So I realize how blessed I am to be able to do that. But I mean, it's just a everyday thing where you just go through life and hope for the best. And my racing's kind of been that same way where I think one of the things I touched on a while ago is when stuff does happen that you don't like or don't agree with, you have to say, God, you got this, so you have to say, God, you got this, and be strong enough to be able to accept that.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. How does carrying the legacy of your family and trying to, knowing that Slate's coming along, he's going to carry on the legacy when you and Jason are done. And I mean, you can't thank Bowman Gray without the Myers family at all. And to me, do you ever feel like there was any kind of pressure to live up to the legacy and to the standards that your dad and your granddad set before you? Or is it kind of just something that as history has gone on, the legacy has kind of become what it is?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, thinking back on it now, obviously there was pressure there. I remember when I first started and I was Gary's boy. Oh, Gary's boy doing pretty good. And I started in 95 was my first full season in the modifieds, and I didn't win my first race till 98. So there was that stretch there where I was like, man, what's going on? Why can't I win? I'm like you said, the pressure of the family history racing at Bowman Gray Stadium. But then when it did, it kind of all snowballed. I won my first race in 98. I won my second race in 98. 1999, I was the youngest champion in the feature division, and I still am at 22 years old. So it kind of snowballed from there. And as you get older and as this kind of snowball keeps getting bigger and bigger, I guess maybe the thing I tried to do was just ignore it. And that was one of the benefits I had as racing for a living, is there was not much downtime mentally, because you're always looking at what's next, what's the next race, what's coming this weekend. And that's kind of how I've always had to race, is week to week, is we get through this week and then we focus on next week. So I didn't have a lot of time to focus or reflect on what we've done or what we've not done. It was always what's next. What can we do to be as good as we can next week?
Yeah, we've touched on it. As far as God's in control. What's going to happen happens. But for you personally, what is it about your faith that you feel like helps you navigate through the whirlwind world of racing, the ups, the downs, the craziness? I mean, I've said with other drivers we've spoken to that I think if you don't have faith and you climb in one of these things, you're something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that's in your control, but so much that's out of your control at the same time.
Mm.
What is it that you feel like helps you get through that from your faith?
Just the faith, just knowing that, like we said, that no matter what happens, that there's a reason for it. I don't believe in coincidence. If something happens, that there's a bigger plan. And the preacher preached on it last Sunday. I wish I could remember exactly how he said it, but he said, the devil never gets to do anything in your life without it passing through God's hands first.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, that good, yeah, right? When he said that, I was like, I got to write that down, and I did. Good, so yeah. God allows the devil to do things in your life, but not without permission. And so that's the most real statement you could think of. So when something bad happens and we blame it on the devil, it passed through God's hands first.
Right.
So how can it be wrong?
Right.
So, and then on the other side of safety and that kind of stuff, other people outside of our circle, I don't think about getting hurt. The time you think about getting hurt is the time to get out.
Yeah.
If you ever think, man, I hope I don't get hurt today, it's time to quit. So, or don't get in at all. But outside of our circle and outside of our crazy thinking of being racers, people think about safety. I run into people at church that say, well, man, be careful getting in that race car now. I don't want you to get hurt. And you know what my response is you're more dangerous. It's more dangerous you driving on I-40 tonight than I am in this race car.
That's true.
Because I've got the safety equipment and all that stuff. But at the same time, I've told Kim, I said, if something happens to me in a race car, number one, I went out in a blaze of glory. Number two, you know where I went. So there's no worry there. There's no worry there that, if you're saved and you got Jesus in your heart, it's what we tell the kids, you got to have Jesus in your heart. If you know that, then, even though I think I'm having the time of my life in that race car, how much better time am I going to have when I get to heaven? Yeah. So I'm a win. It's a win-win. Exactly. It's a win-win.
So let me ask you this, and on this, with this podcast and with this show, I want the fans to see y'all, the raw version of y'all, who y'all are. But then sometimes there may be some things that I want to ask, not as a gotcha, but just to just allow somebody that sees something that happens.
Yeah.
But then also hearing you speaking about your faith, speaking about your testimony, to hear how you're just a human being and you want to try to carry yourself in the best way, but you're also a competitor that puts a lot of things into this car. Mm-hmm. So when you're at the stadium, because that's usually the place where all the chaos happens the most when it comes to the racetracks, and somebody, let's say that you've had some issues with, let's say spins you out and you throw some kitty litter on their car or something, what's something that you would say to a fan that maybe they don't understand, that you're still a human being?
Well,
you want to carry yourself with the righteousness of God, but you're a human being.
The church is not full of saints.
Right.
The church is full of sinners.
Exactly.
And Jesus didn't go after the good guys. Right?
Right.
Jesus went after his disciples were the poor, the meek, the fishermen, they weren't the saints of the church. We all make mistakes. We all fall short every day. All you can do is try to do the best you can. And people don't know the story. That's another thing about your social media and your fans sitting in the stands. They don't know the whole story behind a lot of things that happen. There's more to that story than just a bucket of speedy dry being thrown at a driver.
Right.
There's more to the night that I backed up and rammed into Junior Miller several times. Am I proud of what I did? No. People don't know that I went to that driver, the speedy dry driver. I went to him the next week and apologized and said, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. I was upset, and I'm still upset because you ran into me and knocked me out of the race because I was passing him on the outside for $12,000.
Yeah.
And he overdrove his car and he got out of shape and he ran into me. Do I think he did it on purpose? Absolutely not. People don't know that we had that conversation. People don't know that I said, man, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. It was a bad example and I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
People don't know that. So there's a gotcha moment for you.
Yeah.
People can realize that it's not just the surface that you see on social media. Because social media can be a great thing for our sponsors and for stuff like this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Social media can also be very evil.
Bad.
Very evil.
Oh, yeah.
And so I never get into weeds. I never get into mud. Very rarely do I look at stuff, a lot of the pages and whatnot. And now a lot of fans and a lot of friends of mine will send me stuff. Hey, did you see this? And I look at it, but in that case, I'll look at it. But the bottom line is we just got to do the best we can and try to be the best person we can. And when you do fall short, you ask forgiveness and try not to let it happen again. Asking forgiveness, you know this, but maybe I should say this. When you're saved and you ask for forgiveness, that's not a get out of jail free card.
Right.
To say, okay, I'll just do it again and I'll just ask forgiveness again and I'll be good to go. That's not how it works. Now, a lot of us do that. I do. I'll fall short. I've already fell short today, and I'll do it again because we're human.
We're human.
We're sinners. Thanks to Adam and Eve, we have no choice but to be born sinners. And all you can do is just ask for forgiveness, and it's all, it's nothing earned. It's just ask for it, and it's free. That's the great thing about the grace of God is it's free.
Yeah.
You trust in him and try to reshape your life to follow him and do the right things per what the Bible tells us to do. And then you got it made, but it's easier said than done, because in this world we live in and our black human hearts that we have, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. But if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Right. That's the way I look at it.
No, that's a great answer. I mean, and you're right. Social media, like I even spoke with another driver, it's so good in so many ways, but it's so negative in so many other ways.
Yeah.
But it's a tool that's one of those tools that's like,
it's a necessity anymore.
It's a necessity nowadays to have. But the same as somebody can turn that cell phone on when somebody's been resisting arrest for 25 minutes, and then the cop finally has enough and throws them down.
Right. All you see
is so quick for them to turn that on and go, look at him, he was praising God this minute, now look, he's throwing a bucket of kitty litter. Mm-hmm. You know, but that's not the full story, right, like you said. And that's a great answer. I appreciate you opening up about that.
A lot of people, a lot of times you might not like what I have to say, but I usually tell you the truth. I always tell you the truth. I misspoke. I always tell you the truth.
Yeah.
If it's something I can't tell you the truth on, I'll say I can't tell you.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think a lot of times with Bowman Gray, especially, I've got pretty thick skin because I grew up at Bowman Gray. And I've seen a lot, and I've done a lot, and I've been around a lot. The majority of the people that I don't know, I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but the majority of the people that have a problem with me or don't like me, it's because they have a problem, not because I have a problem. If you don't like me, if you'll just leave me alone, I promise you I'll do the same. I'm not going to come look for you. And so I think a lot of times, if it's somebody that I know how they feel and I know the things that they've said, I just ignore them and I stay away from them.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me come off as a jerk. Oh, he's a jerk. He just walks right by and doesn't say anything. Well, if I know how you feel, I'm going to leave you alone. And so I think a lot of times I get that, maybe that persona of he's a jerk or he's arrogant or he's whatever. It's because I've seen what you said, or I know what you said. Right. And so I'll just give you your space and give me mine. Yeah. And that's kind of the way I live my life. So my mom jokes about me and my kids and my family, my wife, my kids being in a bubble. It's in our bubble. Oh, y'all are in y'all's little bubble. Well, I'm safe in my bubble. And I know that I have love in my bubble, right, that I give and I receive. And so I have a small bubble. Now I have lots of friends, but that tight knit bubble is somewhat small.
Yeah, that's good. Now, and again, thanks for opening up about that, because that's part of what this is about, to let the fans see who y'all are, the raw versions, and to allow them to hear, like, hey, you don't know this, but I talked to that person, and we're done. The hatchet's been buried, and we're ready to move on, and y'all are the ones that keep bringing it up and trying to make things that are not important anymore.
Right. And it's funny, is a lot of the stuff people send me about people that say stuff, and they're not even from around here, and they don't even go to Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
They just saw it on TV.
Yeah. My favorite thing is the people that, they've never been to the stadium and watched a race. They've never talked to the drivers, and they probably don't even know how to turn the car on.
Right.
They think it probably has a key.
Right.
They're the ones that are always yelling and screaming the loudest of Bowman Gray's just WWE meets NASCAR.
Right.
Well, I want to see them drive around around a football field. It's not really it's not really a racetrack, but it is.
I've said this before, that number one, the people that know the least say the most. I have figured that out. Number two, I challenge anybody who has a bad opinion about Bowman Gray, because I could see where, if I've never been there and all I know is social media, it looks like a $30,000 demolition derby. I can see that. I challenge you, before you say anything and before you form an opinion, come one time. Come sit in the stands one time. Because it is racing, but it's also entertainment. Yeah. And I call it racing. Bowman Gray calls it entertainment. What I mean by that is Bowman Gray's formula is formulated around entertainment.
Yeah.
The 100-lap draw nights, the inverts, the giving you money if you start in the rear. It's formulated for entertainment. And guess what? They do a pretty good job. The stands are packed and the pits are packed for a reason.
Yeah.
Flo's coverage is one of the top 3 in the country for viewership on
On
Saturday
Bowman Gray.
nights
On
at
Bowman
Bowman
Gray.
Gray Stadium.
Yeah.
So it's no coincidence, or it's no fluke, I guess you could say, that it's that way. It's because they've done a good job at formulating it that way.
Yeah.
But to me, it is racing, and I take it very serious. And maybe that's why a lot of us overreact sometimes, because we do take it so serious.
Money. And it costs a lot of time and
Yeah.
a lot of effort to do the things that you guys do. Kind of getting back to family and faith. What are some things that you do? You're a family team. I mean, you guys are a big family team, but you're a family team.
Yeah.
What are some things that y'all do to kind of help reinstill the faith in each other? Kind of encourage each other. You have.
Well, I mean, obviously the one example I've had people, and it's obviously it's for me and my family, but if it shines a light at the same time, I have a lot of people that, an older gentleman came by a couple weeks ago. Well, it was during Bowman Gray season, and he said, "Man, I'm really proud of you." I'm thinking, what did I do? You know, did I win? I didn't win last night. You know, what's he talking about? And he said, "I know how late you're at the racetrack, and you're sitting here at church at 9 a.m. Now, I don't need a medal for that. But that's one of the things that we try to do, is make sure we get up and go to church. And we go to the early service at 9 a.m. And we try to make sure we do that every week, because it's about discipline. And if I'm going to stay out and play all night, I got to be able to get up and go to church in the morning. And I try to pray on the radio before every race.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get everybody grounded, and myself. And if one of those prayers ever leads to somebody saying, "Hey man, what's this all about?" and it leads to one person getting saved, I mean, how awesome would that be? So
that's good.
Yeah, there's just
I've listened in on it before.
Oh yeah,
it's good. I love hearing it.
I'm a little. There's sometimes when I hear that, and I hear somebody say, "Man, we listened to your prayer last week. Really appreciate it," and I get a little self-conscious because I'm like, well, man, you know, I'm glad that people are listening, and if, like I said, if it touches one person, then that's an awesome accomplishment for the glory of God. But at the same time, I don't want it to be like people take it the wrong way, because I know how vicious people can be, and I have seen where somebody sent it to me where I got an altercation that night. Well, he prayed on the radio before the race, and then he ran into somebody during the race.
Yeah, well, Jesus was praying, and then he was flipping
tables. You know, yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly. At the corn collectors, he was flipping tables, but he's still Jesus, and he was perfect. So nobody's perfect. There was one perfect man, and that was Jesus. The rest of us are not. We're not close. And I just, like I said, just try to do the best I can.
Yeah. So kind of like a rapid fire section.
All right.
Favorite Bible verse.
Favorite Bible verse.
Favorite Bible verse.
Man, I mean, everybody follows. I mean, John 3:16 obviously is the punch, but man, I mean, Philippians 4:13 is one that everybody goes to, and I don't know them all word for word, but I have a few. Like I have Ephesians 2:8 is what's on the sticker on my car, but there's too many.
Yeah.
There's too many. I mean, that's like saying, that's like saying, what's your favorite steak? You know what I mean? There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends on who you're talking to. When you get in a deep circle, obviously it might be different than if you're just speaking to the general public, because you want to pick a verse that is a verse that will touch somebody that does not know exactly in depth of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
what's your go-to song? It can be Christian song, it can be rock song. What's a song that kind
Walk
of
by
Faith
Faith by Jeremy Camp. So that is one that is when I'm in the car and I'm mentally searching for that song, because a lot of times you'll get a song in your head and it sticks with you, and all night long, every caution or you're just constantly. That's my go-to is Walk by Faith by Jeremy Camp.
That's a good one.
I
like it. Favorite moment so far in racing?
My favorite moment, man. People have asked me that. That is a tough one. Obviously, I go back to my first championship. My first win was pretty awesome with me and my dad on the front row together, and I beat him off the outside pole in a 50 lapper, and I won the race. my first championship, being the youngest at 22, and Daddy coming up and grabbing me. There's a picture, I think it's on my toolbox, where he's grabbing me when I got out of the car to win my first championship. But man, I've been blessed to have so many. I know that that's a blessing to have so many great moments in racing that I can't name them all or can't pick a favorite. But I guess if I had to pick one, it would be winning that first championship at Bowman Gray, and especially at such a young age.
That's good. Yeah. What's something that maybe you feel like God is teaching you in your current season in life?
Patience.
He's done that with a lot of people
Patience,
right
man.
now.
I remember somebody told me years ago, said, "Don't ever pray for patience because He'll show you how to get it." And so I learned that, and I try to live by that. So I pray for peace and joy. That's what I pray for. Give me peace and joy in my heart, my mind, and my soul. That's what I say to myself to keep me calm or keep me focused or keep me grounded. But I'd say patience. Patience is one of the things that I'm hoping that I'm learning that whenever, because this year on the Smart Tour especially was one of our worst years we've ever had. And I can't explain why. Don't know why our equipment's the same. I think I'm just as good a driver as I ever was. Man, we had some DNFs. We had some incidents that we were involved in. But for the most part, man, we just didn't run the way we should have run.
Right.
We didn't. And I can't explain it. I guess maybe that's the biggest part. You know, in golf, if you hit a bad shot and you know that you picked your head up, you say, I picked my head up. When you go to the racetrack and you run bad and you're like, man, we had the same setup we did last time and we got the same motor and the same everything and we thought we had the right strategy and we still ran 8th. It's like, man, what
happened?
What are we doing? What's going on? So, yeah, I'd say patience.
That's good. You know, been racing for a long time. Got a lot of wins, a lot of championships, different places. Everybody's going to remember that about Burt Myers. What's something that you want them to remember besides your on-track success, your championships, your wins? What do you want people to say about Burt Myers when the final checkered flag waves and you're ready to step back and just watch Slate tear it up and watch him forge his own part of the legacy? What do you want people to say or remember you?
Well, I mean, obviously that I was a Christian or that I am a Christian. That is so.
The deep question.
It is deep, and the reason I hesitate at all is because I know that, and maybe this is because of the way I grew up racing at Bowman Gray and the way social media is. The reason I'm hesitant at all is because I know no matter what answer I give, there's going to be somebody that's going to tear it down. And my character is one thing that, and I think that involves faith. There's going to be people that watch this as, oh, he don't mean it, or he's, I've seen him do this, or I've heard him say this. I don't think he means what he's saying, and I hate they feel that way. I know in my heart who I am, and my family knows who I am. So I guess just my character, and that I did try to carry myself in the best way I could, best way I knew how, and that maybe every day I try to get better. I mean, that's all we can do is try to be better the next day. Yeah. I hope I answered your question there. I don't know, man. That's a deep question.
Okay. My advice to you is just keep being who you are.
Yeah.
Just keep being Burt Myers. Because, like we talked about before we started recording, a lot of people know of you, but it's the people that matter that are going to take the time to get to know who you are. That are going to do it.
Fair enough.
So
just
keep being Burt Myers.
All right.
Just keep being Burt Myers. Don't worry about sugarcoating some answer.
Well, I wasn't trying to sugarcoat it. I just know that I knew what I wanted to say, but I knew saying it was going to, I remember going to the bar with Bert, back in 25 years ago. And, listen, I did.
That's 25 years ago, though.
and you just try to do better. You try to be a better person every day.
All right.
And, I guess that's, I hope that answered your question.
Nah, you're good. What's some advice that you'd give a young driver? I mean, you got your son. He's a young driver, but he can ask you advice anytime. Somebody that may be watching this and, they're a kid in the stands and they see that orange bumper.
Yeah.
That famous orange bumper. They see you afterwards. They get the autograph. They get the high five, the picture, the T-shirt, whatever. they want to be the next Burt Myers. What's some advice you give them on how to get into racing, how to achieve those dreams, how to chase after it? What's something that if they were standing here right now, you would tell them to encourage them?
Obviously, it's not easy. It's a lot of hard work, and in racing, and this goes with most sports, and probably in life, anything you're trying to accomplish. Either do it or don't. If you're going to do it, be committed and do it. I will say that one thing me and Kevin Harvick talked about off camera when I did the podcast with him. One of the things he said, and I think we were doing it, but I had never heard it this way. Is he said he's trying to teach Keelan to be a good person, to be a good human being. And if you'll be a good human being, it'll make you a better person as a race car driver. Just be a better person. Be a good person. And I think that's true when you're working on sponsors and you're working on fans, whenever you're working with media. Just be a good person. Be genuine and be honest. And that'll help you in your racing career be successful at the same time.
Good. Well, Bert, I don't want to take any more of your time up, man.
That was
been
quick.
Great. This
yeah,
has been good.
I'm used to my hour and a half to hour and 45-minute podcast.
Yeah, but I always try to close these out with a prayer. Sometimes I ask the driver to pray if they don't mind. And if they do mind, then I'll pray. So
I don't mind.
All right, let's close it with a prayer, man. Let's go for it.
Dear Lord, thank you for this time. Thank you for this opportunity and this for us to be able to highlight you and be able to talk about racing at the same time and our families and talk about the many blessings that you've bestowed upon us, Lord. Just keep us strong mentally, physically, spiritually, and let us be able to push hard and continue the faith and work hard to give you the honor and the glory, everything we do, no matter if it's racing or life or whatever it is. Thank you for everything that you do for us, and go with us and guide us and direct us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you for joining us on Fast Faith, where speed meets the spirit. Burt Myers, I'm Michael Weiser, and we'll see you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow on Facebook as well. God bless.